Hey, we're live.
Hey! Hey everybody, welcome to the balcony of Rosedale Gardens where all thing technology happens every single Sunday. A lot of people have not yet had a chance to see the balcony. We thought we'd take you up here today. Want you to kind of picture the balcony, and Kate's about to walk you through all the things that happen to just make one Sunday service go. There's a lot of positions up here, and that's not even counting all that goes into those who are in the chancel and all that they've done to prepare for a service. So while this has been a really great blessing for us, because it's allowed us, especially through COVID, when there was no way to get to church, to invite you into church through this medium, it definitely comes with its challenges. And so we have had some recent challenges on Sunday morning, the last two Sundays, and last Sunday with not being able to get sound from the live stream. So I've asked Kate to give us a little tour of up here and kind of explain what happened and how we're going about trying to make sure it doesn't happen again. So.
Well, explaining what happened might be a little difficult because I truly believe in church gremlins, that the gremlins just show up and do their thing. But I am going to do my best to kind of walk you all or share with you the setup that we have here, best I can, but we do have limitations in doing that with doing this live stream. So we're currently being filmed. The camera that is looking at us right now is what we call our sanctuary cam. And it sits up on the ledge overlooking the rest of the sanctuary, and we can manipulate this camera all over the place. So it is our main camera, and right now we have it swung all the way around, so it's looking at us, so we can look at you, but unfortunately that means that our setup isn't going to be really well viewed for you. But I did take a few quick photos that I'm going to be able to share with you while I explain kind of the stations that we have up here. So, right here, this is a laptop that you're looking at here, and this is the laptop in which we use to actually put our stream through. So we have the internet goes through here, we have our USB that comes through here from the soundboard, and this is the system in which we use where we put up all the stuff with the live stream, so whenever you worship with us online and you have the call to worship and that sort of thing, those banners that come up that let you participate in the call to worship, or we put up the names of whoever's participating in worship leadership with us. All of that is run through this computer. And it's also run typically by one person who we call our streamer. We also call them our holy DJ. That was coined by Alex Rafi, one of our young adults who is one of our holy DJs up here. And this computer, this monitor right here, it's a big monitor and there's all sorts of stuff going on it. And I'm going to see if I can show you, and I might need my assistant. Oh, no, I got the right one. So I apologize that I'm cutting off Kelly's head at the moment, but you all see enough of her, it's okay.
Exactly.
Just kidding. So if you can see on your screen, I took a quick photo of the streaming setup and all that this entails. So you can see the big monitor, and it's full of all sorts of different pictures. So we've got two different cameras in the sanctuary. We've got the main camera, which is looking at us right now, and then we have the other one, which we lovingly call our Sandy cam. And I think you all love that camera because it's the camera that points right down on Sandy in the mornings, and you can actually feel like you're her bench buddy every Sunday. So that's a stagnant camera. That means that we can't move it, we can't focus it. It's just got one shot, and it's right on Sandy. So this whole area is where we see the buttons. That's not really helping you at all. So I can't really point to stuff, but there's a little joystick there that controls the camera. We have different camera settings that we set usually a couple days before worship, just to make sure that we're not cutting off people's heads or
now, for example.
Right, like now, exactly. So a lot kind of goes into that. And a lot has to be coordinated between the person running this station and the person who we lovingly called SIG. And I'm going to need my lovely assistant to tab over twice. Can you hit that right arrow key twice? Yes, so there's a lovely picture of SIG for you.
Would you like to tell them why this is called SIG?
Okay. So the type of computer it is, or the brand, it's called Alienware. And when I think of aliens, I think of the movie, and I think of Sigourney Weaver, and Sigourney is just too big of a name, so we lovingly call the computer SIG, SIG for short. So we usually have somebody running SIG, and whatever's on SIG is usually what you see in the sanctuary. So if you're worshiping with us in person, the hymns, the graphics, the videos is all run through SIG and comes up on the screen. And actually, what you are currently seeing right now, the picture-in-picture that is kindly cutting off Kelly's head, is showing what is currently being broadcast onto the sanctuary screens at the same time. So like I said when I first started talking, we don't really know what happened on Sunday, and it's kind of a heartbreak of us all. And Kelly will share more with you, and I'd like to add a little piece to that too when she's done talking. But yeah, so we just kind of wanted to address that and give you a quick little tour, and you're welcome to come up to the sanctuary anytime that you're in the building, and myself or Laura or someone else, we could definitely show you the setup here, because it is really something. And then we've got a whole other person that runs sound separately right in front of us that you can't see right now. So that is where we are, and I'm going to turn it back over to Kelly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now that I have my head back. So just wanted to, in a pastoral way, tell you about what it was like to be at staff meeting this past Tuesday morning. So how we knew you weren't getting sound through the live stream is that Kate has her phone on her up front in the chancel, and she got word from right up here where we are to these positions up here saying the sound is not coming through the live stream, and she immediately left the chancel, which is the nice thing about all the camera angles. So you really didn't know that she was gone or when she came back. You may have seen her leave because I think something was happening, but you never saw, she all of a sudden magically appeared. So she was up here in robe, and here was my view because I can't communicate with her. All I did was watch her in her robe going from chair to chair, running around the balcony trying to figure out what was going on, and I just knew from the way she was moving that it had not yet been resolved. And so while we were here on Sunday morning, I need to tell you that once I knew that you couldn't be heard, my heart broke a little bit because I worked so hard on that sermon. I put a lot of energy into that sermon, and then my next thought, which should have been my first thought, was Sandy, our organist, pianist. She practiced and practiced and practiced, and what we didn't know at the time was that Kate was able to turn on the camera, because we do have someone that also stands by our camera up here. So now you're talking about the fifth position of the balcony. So we had someone that wasn't able to come. The camera wasn't turned on right away, so the first thing she did is turn on the camera, and we were able to release yesterday. Kate and Laura made sure it got out to you, the service. We missed the first little bit, starting at the scripture passage by the liturgist with Jan. We were able to capture the sermon and Sandy's amazing offertory and the rest of the music. So please go check it out. But here's what happened in staff. So for some people, it was the first time they heard about it. For others, they described what it was like to be at home, thinking it was something on their own laptops and calling friends and trying to get to us in the balcony saying, oh no, kind of Mayday, Mayday. So it just caused a lot of heartbreak. And one of the things that Sandy brought up in staff meeting was she said, the heartbreak is caused not because we did the work and it wasn't heard, it was caused because we really love you. I mean, we want to serve you. From the first moment that we shut our doors, the first priority was, how do we keep us together while we're apart in a pandemic? This is something that's here to stay. We're always going to offer online. And even just one Sunday where it didn't work meant that we weren't connecting with you, that we were losing you because we didn't have the sound, and that was the heartbreaking piece. And now I bring us back to the life of the church and to say this, grace is a really big deal. And so grace is defined by unmerited favor that God gives us. And so what was happening on Sunday morning is that you were giving us a lot of grace. A lot of you hung in there. I know of a few people who just kept it on all the way through and just found comfort that we were doing our thing and they could see us. But you gave us a lot of grace. Obviously, we prep like no tomorrow on making sure every station up here has scripts and knows exactly what they're doing. It worked perfectly fine. Saturday night, it worked good on Sunday. What we can't check is the live stream, as Kate already explained, once we're up and running. So just to let you know, we are always doing due diligence, and it's not because it's a job. It's because we're called to serve you, and serving you in this way so we can worship together it means the world to us. So thank you for your grace. Ironically, the sermon series that we're in is called Standing in the Gap, and we were literally standing in the gap in more ways than one because we didn't know it was by technology this past Sunday as well. And so just to let you know that it's just so important that we worship together. Last week we did have work done to hardwire the balcony, which is something we always wanted to do because the week before we were having trouble with Wi-Fi. So we made sure to correct that problem, never thinking that we would have an issue with live stream last Sunday. So thank you for your grace, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being faithful. Just as we have been faithful to you, you have been faithful to the church this entire time. And we know that faithfulness will continue. Ironically, someone was on the phone with me today who had stopped in yesterday, a church member, Kathy Benton, I'll call you out right now, and she was laughing with me on the phone and said, yeah, we bumped into Kate, and we were like, what happened? And the word was, maybe this is a sign saying, come back in the building. So obviously we would love you to come back in the building, but this is a ministry that we've invested time, energy, commitment, and a whole lot of volunteers, and it is here to stay. However, there is something to be said about being together in one place. And so this is our together in one place, and being inside the pews is together in one place. And so only Jesus could pull off that miracle. So thank you so much for your patience, and thank you so much for continuing. We know that just because we had a bad Sunday, you're not going to disappear. So, and thank you for that. This culture is fast moving. And so we thank you that we are all dedicated to the mission and the ministry that is Rosedale. And Rosedale is people. So thank you so much. And I'm going to turn it back over to Pastor Kate.
Well, I have a quick question for you, Kel.
Oh, great.
What are your degrees in?
Oh, I didn't know that question was coming. So,
I like to keep you on your toes.
Yeah, I guess so. So I have a few.
Okay, and they are in what?
So I have a bachelor's in social work.
Okay.
And then I have a master's in divinity, which
Okay.
is towards ordination.
Uh-huh.
And then after I became a pastor, I decided to go back to school to get a master's of clinical psychology. So, so what you probably heard in that little speech was a mixture of minister and psychologist. So.
Well, the reason I asked that is I'm just curious. So no information systems, no technology degree?
None whatsoever.
Nothing like that?
Ever.
Okay.
Zero.
And did
That
they
was
have,
sign
did they-
language.
Did they have a live stream class in your seminary?
No, they did not.
Okay.
I wasn't on Facebook till last May, 2 months into the pandemic.
Right.
I said I would never be on Facebook. Now I'm all about Facebook.
And I have a variety of degrees as well, none of which have anything to do with technology whatsoever. So just to kind of piggyback on everything that Kellie has said, it was our priority from day one to figure out how to get you all connected. And it was a huge learning curve for everybody on staff to figure this out, to figure out this whole new life and this world. And it's been a lot. And we also took a moment to acknowledge in staff on Tuesday that technology is not always, we can't always rely on it. And unfortunately, we had to acknowledge the fact that there will be issues again in the future. We are doing our best to put out the best quality worship that we possibly can. with our limited skills and with our limited knowledge. But like Kelly said, grace is always welcome, and we're so grateful for that. And I also just want to acknowledge that we value everybody that worships with us, regardless of where you are, whether you're online or physically in the sanctuary. Of course, we all want to be together, but we also realize that we have people that don't live locally, and there are people that are still not quite comfortable coming back out in public yet, and that is all good. And how blessed are we that we still have the ability to worship together. But just know that if you are a online worshiper with us, we value you just as much. And like Kelly said, it was heartbreaking to know that you all were missing out on an amazing service. And we're glad that there is some semblance of it out there now, that you can still worship and hear an absolutely incredible sermon and amazing offertory done by Sandy. But we thank you for your grace, for your understanding, and know that you are just so valued wherever you worship with us. So,
Amen.
So I think that was our little spiel for today. Anything else?
I just feel like I'm on Star Trek.
And why?
Because there's all this
beamed in to
stuff.
go.
Yes, I wish we could have beamed the balcony and got our sound last week.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so it is something to see. So it's really kind of neat to I jokingly call this Command Central. So this is where all the magic happens that I know absolutely nothing about. So I'm really reliant on Kate and on Laura and great volunteers who are willing to take on these tasks. And it's pretty scary to know that in the one button and you can go the wrong direction. So
Yes.
I'm very happy and content in the chancel area.
Hey, and if any of you out there want to volunteer in this ministry, we would love to teach you and to get you going on it. It is actually really cool. It's not as scary as Kelly makes it out to be. So, yeah, we would love to take anybody that would have any interest in learning. That would be really cool. So,
All right.
yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody, for
Yeah.
being with us today and for listening. And yes, we love you all. Have a lovely day.
God be with you.
See you soon.
Bye.